Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
the new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
Melody Saunders Brenna.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansada.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamid.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebostillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan.
Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldons.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
Aftershift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Healthline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and more.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. Sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC ignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC ignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We're here to help you see the new you. My name is Michelle Mras, and welcome to episode 9 of Mental Shift. good evening to the United States and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Tonight, my guest is Melody Saunders Brenna. She's the CEO and co-founder of IntelliReefs. And I asked her to come onto the show because she is doing some incredible work in the Philippines right now. Let's stay tuned, stay still, and we'll watch a little bit of her intro, and then we'll come right back.
Protecting our remaining reefs is no longer enough. We must build more.
Ready? Yeah.
Go in.
Ocean infrastructure creates additional habitat, capturing commercially important species like corals and fish. We need to put the world's best technology underwater to make this happen, and not all construction materials are created equal. IntelliReefs represents an evolutionary advance in ocean infrastructure technology, utilizing breakthroughs in nanotech development and biomimicry. Our materials mimic established reefs by attracting healthy ocean communities and wild coral settlement in less than a year. We are the only company that can customize our mineral mixtures according to site, species, and function. We're working from the nano to industrial scale, enhancing biological and physical processes from individual animals all the way up to whole systems. We streamline project execution from exclusive design to deployment, and our technology capabilities allow you to reach your sustainability targets. Our custom-engineered mineral mixtures allow for savings on emissions, raw materials, and primary energy, mitigating total carbon units. IntelliReefs are the most customizable, large-scale sustainability solution in the ocean. We can design and cast everything from beautiful resort dive installations to entire ocean ecosystems. Make your underwater real estate a global destination with exclusive experiences for your guests, generating ongoing return on investment while building new biodiverse habitats for future generations. A single dollar invested in the ocean has been shown to yield a minimum of $5 in return. Invest in your future by investing in the oceans with IntelliReefs.
I am so excited about our guest today because I'm a big believer in this, and just that video alone, you're probably doing, oh my goodness, because the state of the ocean is ultimately going to determine our survival as a species. And so I wanted to have Melody to come on and speak to us more about these IntelliReefs and why they called IntelliReefs and all that background. So please welcome this really amazing lady. Welcome, Melody.
Thank you, Michelle. Bless you.
No, bless you. You're doing so much for our oceans. I mean, we all talk about, we need to help this, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. We have more water on this planet than we have land, and we focus on the land. And I'm just thinking, when I went to the Philippines, the trash that we were finding on the sides, and my sister and I are picking up the trash, and I was thinking when I met you, all the toxins that come off of the things that we use as humans. And then these IntelliReefs, they don't give out toxins. I have to ask you this because it's been killing me. I need to know. What is this nanotechnology that you're using that doesn't put off anything that's going to hurt anything in the ocean?
That is a brilliant question. I'm going to give you a quick history.
Yes, quick history.
We had a stone casting company in Texas, and we took it global. And nanomaterials is an advanced way of making a mixture into a very intricate recipe.
Okay.
So people throughout history have been putting just trash in the water. Cement, which has a pH of 12, ocean water is a pH of 8.1. So this range will burn a fish scales. Fish don't like it. It off-gasses toxins for 2 to 5 years, but there hasn't been another really effective way to do it. And it took us a while to do it. We have the top nanomaterial scientists on the globe working on this, and we came up with And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see
Yeah.
that? Yeah, you can. So see those beautiful rocks? They have the exact texture and mineral content matrix that corals like. We knew it in a laboratory, but to see it underwater, as you got to see in that movie, that's when the excitement starts, is when you start putting these underwater and the corals are like, okay, I have a decision to make. Do I want to stay in my degraded home, or do I want to go somewhere where I think I can live and thrive and be with fish and hide all kinds of creatures? And that's really what happened when the IntelliReefs went in the water. It's extraordinary.
Let's say, wait, you built them a townhouse.
We built them a condo, yes. And there's a funny story, and you can see it on our website. So the divers were coming down, and these big photography guys, and so they were looking down inside the IntelliReefs, and out unfurled an octopus arm, and he tried to pull the photographer into the home. He had built a home. He was looking for roomies. Here was this cute guy with a camera. He thought, oh, perfect.
That's
awesome. That's why we say we're building homes for the ocean's homeless.
Oh, that's beautiful. And the other reason I wanted you here is because I know there's been a lot of changes happening, and they're concentrating in the Philippines, on the reefs in the Philippines, because the water there is phenomenal. The ocean life there is amazing, but there is a lot of damage happening out there with the tourists and things like that. So my question to you is, how crucial is the ocean to our future? Because I said it earlier, but how crucial is it?
You know, people have asked me, why in the world did you devote your ending life to this? You could have done anything. You could have done all kinds of things. And truly, it's for my grandchildren and your grandchildren and the precious grandchildren on the planet who will not breathe if we don't have a healthy ocean. It's that critical. We have let this go for so long. We have not applied the scientific background of scientists all over the world, because I think as a planet, we're thinking of other things. We're thinking of an app on our phone and, you know, how are we going to get from one place to another? But the ocean is 71% of the planet. Every breath we breathe is provided by this blue part of the planet, not this stuff on land, not for these creatures that are, you know, two-legged and they're walking around. They can't even breathe underwater, and we're trashing the place. So to me, we have a responsibility as humans to save the rest of the planet. And each creature, from the tiny planktons that feed the little bit bigger fish, and an angelfish and a dory fish, and then those guys feed the sharks and they feed the whales, and that's what brings the tourists back to island nations all over the world. And in our country, in Florida alone, sharks are worth $350 million a year in tourism.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money that we're letting go to waste.
Now, over 70% of our planet is ocean.
Yes,
but, you know, think of the human mind. We think about what's in front of us.
Yeah.
Hello, Helene. Thanks for joining us tonight. And so what we do is we think about, and she says hello to you too. And so we think about what's in front of us. And because the ocean is underneath and we don't see what's under there, it's just some flat blue thing that, oh, Michael says, what's killing the reefs? That's a good question.
It is a good question, Michael. It's layers of things. Certainly trash, pollution. We have allowed the oceans to warm significantly, and the Arctic is melting. The oceans, like around the Philippines, around Hawaii, around the different islands, they're getting so hot, they're actually killing the corals that are on reefs today. So corals are leaving that hot spot and going to cooler waters. And so when we first tested our IntelliReefs, it was on the island of Hawaii, and we went into Ruth Gates' fabulous lab. And anyone who's sitting here who hasn't seen Chasing Coral, you need to go find that movie and sit down with your children and see Chasing Coral. But the coral spawns were already leaving Hawaii then. And when we were in Ruth's lab, Ruth Gates' lab, she said, see this? That's where the corals are going to land in the future. So you guys keep at it, keep going, make sure you have a pathway for reefs to move into another new home because they're leaving. It's too hot.
So my other question is, for those who do not know what we're talking about, what is coral? Because when you go to a tourist shop, they give you a hunk of something and it's a piece that you sit on your counter. What exactly is coral?
It's the skeleton of the ocean. It's calcium carbonate. And those calcium skeletons, they have all kinds of little creatures growing in and around them. And if that skeleton dies, the creatures die. It's black, it's gray. And none of the fish that are trying to feed all of their neighbors are going to be there. So like the Great Barrier Reef is the biggest reef on the planet, and it is very, very close to being dead, which means that whole area of the planet used to be vibrant and alive and all kinds of people everywhere underneath the water, above the water, and now it isn't. And there is a thought that the Philippines reefs could save Australia's reefs. So there's all kinds of ways that bring the Philippines and that incredible region into a way that they can save other coral regions on the planet in the Coral Triangle where the Philippines is. It's a very strategic location.
Phenomenal. So my question is you have devoted your life to this. What started you? I mean, like 30 years ago, do you say, what's going on with this? I want to make a difference. And you just did it. What mental shift did you have that you looked at this and said, something has to be done? Because this wasn't a, twitch your nose and poof, everything happened. You've been working strategically for years getting to this point. What happened? What made you do, something has to work and someone's got to do it, and that someone looks like me and I'm going to do it? What happened?
I warn people about this. When they get to know the ocean, they're going to fall in love and it's going to be a serious relationship forever. And I grew up in Texas on horseback. I didn't know anything about the oceans. I did not grow up on an island. I didn't appreciate the beauty and the sustainability of what you saw in the Philippines growing up. And it was the coral researchers who came to us and said, you guys are so damn good at what you do. Why aren't you thinking about saving underwater infrastructure? And we're challenging you to figure this out. And once we started investigating it and understanding the dire problem, and that advanced science was really the only way to solve it, that's when we started and built this company inch by inch. And it's an incredible amount of scientific testing and testing and testing. And now that we have something and it makes the corals happy, and maybe even better than that, the fish happy, because fish make the world go around. They feed 1 billion people a high quality protein meal a day. That's a lot. Billions of people work in and among the oceans. It really sustains the whole planet. We just have to turn our minds into something a little more natural and a little more blue.
A little more blue. I like that. Turn us more blue. Well, the other thing about what you're doing, I mean, you've got a lot of young people coming beside you and joining into this foundation, to this mission. And because, they're seeing that we want a future and this is where it is. They believe in this project. And what I wanted to talk a little bit about before we go into our commercial was about how do people get involved in this. And then after our break, we'll go deeper into how. But I want to mention real quick that if you go to www.reef, R-E-E-F, life, right? Is that coming up somewhere? There it is. Nope, it's not there. So reeflifefoundation.org. There it is. Or IntelliReefs.com or Coral Reef Rescue Initiative.org. I say go to the reeflifefoundation.org. That's the main site. Go there and you can learn so much about what they do. You can see all the videos of what they've been doing, the infrastructure. There's so much information and you can learn more. So if you're out there and you're in school or you're thinking about going into, marine biology, aquatic biology, any of those kind of things, any sciences that will help build these reefs, go there. Look, see how you can be part of this initiative to change the world and save your future for your grandchildren, and it's bigger than us. And so when I meet people like Melody who think far beyond their years, and she can say, yeah, I got like 20 years or so I'm not going to be here when the world's over. We can do that. But people like you said, right. No, I need to make a difference while I'm here. And if you're thinking that same thing, doing what? The reefs are dying? We can't. If you're thinking that kind of stuff, I really suggest you go to the reeflifefoundation.org because you will learn so much and you can reach out to them. And there are ways to donate. There's ways to, gift a reef. There's so much out there that you can do and be a part of this. I want to go straight into a commercial real quick, and then we'll come back and we're going to get deeper. I want to spend more time with Melody and get deeper into how the reefs are affecting our world and how us killing them is affecting our world. So we'll be right back right after this commercial. Don't leave me, Melody. Welcome back. My name is Michelle Mras, and you are watching Mental Shift. And tonight, my guest is Melody Brenna from the Reef Life Foundation. And she is the co-founder and the CEO. And I wanted to bring her here because she is talking about some very important things that are happening in our ocean, and more specifically, the reefs around the Philippines and how they, being saved, can save many other, our ocean, and specifically the parts of Australia's reefs too. So please welcome back, Melody.
Thank you, Michelle. I do have to put a caveat in there. The plan of a pathway from these healthy reefs is part of our research into the future, and it's very cool. We're thinking of what we call an oasis that is preceded with reefs from healthy reefs like the Palawan reefs, which are so magnificent off of the Philippines. And as those move, they can move to reefs that are struggling. So this is a new initiative from our company that we've made up. But many of the scientists are thinking, how do we put a coral pathway together so that you can move healthy reefs to a really damaged one. So this has not been proven yet. This is a new pathway for the way reefs are going to be repairing each other, because they're very symbiotic creatures. And I do want to tell a story about the Philippines reefs and in the globe today, how important they are.
Please.
And this Coral Reef Rescue Initiative, and I think we had this website somewhere.
Yeah, the Reef Rescue Initiative.
Yeah, Coral Reef Rescue Initiative. They have located the 7 most important reefs on the whole planet because they hold the biodiversity of the entire planet. And so what these UN and big global strategists are saying, if we can save the reefs that are the healthiest with the most biodiversity, we can help save the rest of the planet. And a lot of reefs didn't make the cut, but the Philippines did. It holds 9% of the global reef biodiversity. And that in and of itself, with Indonesia and some of those reefs there, hold 50% of the biodiversity underwater on the planet. It is an imperative number. There are other magnificent reefs around the world, Cuba, Tanzania. There's all kinds of, well, there's only 7, but the Philippines holds 9%. So it is a strategic location for Coral Reef Rescue Initiative and other initiatives to concentrate on it, because you all's reefs are magnificent and they hold such biodiversity that it can help the entire ocean if we can get this saved and moved out into other areas. So it's an imperative place.
I'm imagining a bridge of this IntelliReefs going all the way out to other places. They're just bridges and letting them grow as they go to the next one and integrating in. And it's just phenomenal.
Exactly.
It's like not even airplanes. It's a bridge to the next one. And you brought something up to me before the show about the UN recognizing this. Can you share us a little bit about that? Because that's big.
It's a big thing this year, and we've been preparing for this for the past 4 years as a company and as a science, and the globe has been preparing for it. The United Nations declared 2021 as the launch of the Global Ocean Initiative and the Decade of Ocean Science. So they're doing 10 years. If we can save the world's oceans in 10 years, we might make it. And so the UN, UNESCO, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, all of those global entities are saying, okay, folks, we got 10 years to keep it together, use the top scientists around the planet, put some funding in place so that we can actually make oceanic ecosystems viable again. And what's going to happen if we don't will be really dire. It's not going to be pretty if we can't activate this year and for the next decade to bring the oceans back to health.
Time is of the essence.
It is. It is. And brilliant minds all over the world are working on this.
Yeah. Well, I'm at a loss of words, because you think about the enormity of what this project is, and that there's a small group of people from around the world all working on it. But if we can get all of us to just, I mean, like you said in the video, that very first movie that we watched, $1 equals 5. I mean, so just any donation will make a huge difference. So for those of you out there who like, your fancy coffees, or you like to go out to eat, we've been locked down with COVID for quite a while. Maybe take one of those meals that you used to go out and have, and take that dollar amount and donate it straight in, because this, I believe the oceans are our future, so if there's a way we can help in any way, or if you want, like someone has a birthday coming up, you can gift them. You have something called the Gift a Reef program. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
I mean, so it's almost like when you buy a star that you never can see, you can buy a piece of reef that you can actually see. And I find that just so beautiful, that we could give a piece of history to someone we love. And that is a gift that we'll always keep giving, because they can always say, great, 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 great grandma, way back in 2021.
Way back in 2021, right.
Yeah, because, if we keep going and these reefs are saving us, they're going to look back and do, I can't believe we ever did this to hurt them. And thank goodness that we've saved them, right? And wouldn't you want to be a part of that? So gift a reef program, and you can find that on the reeflifefoundation.org. And I'm saying that because it's cool. It's cool, and it's not about you. It's about everyone. It's about all of us and the animals and the birds. I mean, it's everyone on this planet relies on the water in the ocean. Yeah. If it goes away, if the life there goes away, there's a ripple effect that you cannot even imagine. I mean, I took just one little oceanography class and I fell in love with the ocean. And it was like, it's so crucial. I didn't know. I mean, I grew up on the islands, but I didn't know how special it was, and that the little things we did around the ocean affected far bigger than what we could ever see. Now, do you think it's a good time to show the video on the IntelliReef now?
We can.
Sure. Can we do that? Mr. Director, can you please put on that video? Because I really think it's a good time to put it on.
Bless you.
My name's Emily Higgins, and I'm a scientist working with Reef Life Foundation to evaluate the coral reef communities that are growing on the IntelliReefs that we've had underwater in St. Martin. I examine animal and plant communities on artificial reefs and compare them to those living on natural reefs to see how they are similar and different, and try to understand a little bit about how those communities function on both of them. Artificial reefs are a quick solution to build back that three-dimensional complexity that we've lost, that would otherwise take decades to up to 100 years to reconstruct with just natural processes alone. They can be designed in any shape to achieve different conservation objectives and can be modified depending on species-specific needs in a certain region.
My name's Ian Kellett. I'm an underwater filmmaker, explorer, scientist. We have the IntelliReefs in the water for a year, so we brought down scientists and people who have lots of experience looking at man-made structures underwater and assessing whether this material is better than any other material. And what we found is it's covered in life.
So we're really interested in how the different oceanite materials perform with different environmental variables. Other than the corals themselves, we are also measuring species that could facilitate a coral community forming on the IntelliReefs. So the most common one that we look for is called Christus coralline algae, or CCA. It's a calcifying red algae that prepares the substrate for coral settlement. So not only does it chemically attract coral to the substrate, but it also actually facilitates their metamorphosis.
So here we are. We just dove on the IntelliReefs after a year plus being in the water, and there were 6 different recruits from a wild spawning event that landed and started to grow on the IntelliReef.
The results of our pilot study are really exciting because we found that the microtopography and complex matrix of pores created by our substrate provides an incredible amount of surface area for a diversity of life to settle, many of which are really important for reef development and feed a whole community of fish, which we found to be really, really abundant at sites with a high amount of vertical relief. We found that the oceanite IntelliReefs supported increased cover of calcareous species such as Christus coralline algae and brooding corals, as well as increased cover of important functional species on reefs such as sponges.
Our livelihood is based on people wanting to come here, and most of the people that work here either grew up here or have lived here the majority of their lives, so they've been able to see the difference in how the environment used to be in comparison to how it is now, and they're really passionate about preserving what we've got and trying to make it a little bit better.
We were amazed to see that the IntelliReef and the MPA supported almost 100% cover on all substrates, which was significantly higher than the natural reef.
We've just done phase 1 of an experiment. We've learned a lot. We've learned that we can invite wild coral to land and recruit on there. We've learned that the diversity is incredible. So much more to learn. There's so many different ways we can iterate this forward.
Wow. Wow. For those of you who are listening to all that, the technical language that they were giving us, I do want to, let's simplify it so basic that we can all understand it. Have you ever bought your child a gift and it was like this really high gadget thing, and you took it out of the box, you put it together for 4 hours, you give it to them, and they played with the box? What happened here is there was a lot of things that we watched try to grow things on. They found in the perfect mixture that all these sea creatures came to and were willing to play with, basically live on. And that is how I see it. Or like, you know, you have a dog and you buy him a dog bed and he just passes over on it and then sleeps on your chair. It's the same thing. You had to find the right mix for them to be comfortable enough to settle. And you found it in the IntelliReefs. And that's what makes me so excited. It's like you found the perfect box. You found the perfect box for them because they are happy there. And if they're happy there, yes, isn't it fascinating? Denim and Pearls podcast. Thank you for saying that. It is so amazingly fascinating. So when I met Melanie and she was telling me about this, yes, water, sea, fish, except shark. Oh, then we need to talk about sharks, Melanie. The importance of sharks in our water. If warming is killing the coral, how will putting a new substrate help?
Yes.
Like, answer that one and then talk about sharks?
Sure. Well, sharks are a big part of it. And one of the latest tests we did, which is coming out in the Coral magazine, is that we fed fish. You could see the fish swimming around our reefs. We are feeding fish once every 4 seconds. So you see all of those fish, and that one habitat we put on really kind of a toxic part of the island. We thought, we'll just put it out there. We'll see what happens. There was a seagrass bed and sand. So essentially we put it in the desert, and you saw all those fish growing around it. So because this material got covered in both animals and plants, it feeds both carnivores and herbivores. So the vegan people are happy, the vegetarians are happy, the carnivore fish are happy. They go down and get these cute little worms and the sponges. The turtles are happy. So it really created a food bank for thousands of fish on that little part of the island, which was quite toxic.
So it's keeping them there even though it's getting too hot.
Yeah.
They're willing to stay for the food.
Exactly. They're there for the food. And so they're growing all these groups of fish. And when you have the smaller fish that are feeding the bigger fish, then the real fish that you make money off of, which really are sharks, whales. One whale is worth $2 million a year. So there's no reason to kill a whale and toss that money down. And sharks are worth $1 million a piece. So this shark finning, you know, people go out and pull up sharks, cut off their fins to make, you know, shark fin soup, is killing the substance, the creature that actually keeps your island worth some money. It's bad mathematics, and we need to really quit it, because the sharks and the whales and this entire ecosystem that is the ocean creates the ecosystem that helps us goofballs continue to live.
Sharks are good.
Sharks are great.
We need sharks.
Yeah.
But that was a really good question, Michael, because that was I had thought of it, but never articulated. Mm-hmm. If they left because of the water being too hot, then why are they staying here? Well, because the food keeps them there. And, you know, it keeps them there. That is brilliant.
It's an interesting thing. Corals are animals. And so they have this live spawning event once a year. They tell each other like, yo, midnight, tonight, be
We're all
there.
meeting.
And they all do it at once. So there's all these little eggs flying through the water. They're like, where do I go? Where do I go? What do I do? And they can smell, they can hear. So if there's lots of fish, they're going to go towards the fish because it's on a healthy reef. So they're sensitive, very sensitive animals. So if you put an artificial reef that works off of a reef that's degraded, and that's what we did. So they had a spawning event on older corals on a very degraded reef. And the babies said, I'm not so sure about this condo. I'm heading here because the fish were there. The octopus was there. I don't know if you saw him in the movie. I mean, everyone's going there.
We're going to the condo. We're going out to the resort.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad can stay over there.
You got it. It's like, be there. And so it created a different type of environment, which really saved that part of the island.
I am just baffled by science. I've always been I'm kind of nerdy anyways, but baffled by the ability to see a need and work on something and create a substance that can replace something that's normally alive to recreate it so that more life can grow. That just baffles me. Kudos to all of you who worked on this project to make this stuff happen, because you know, people were throwing things out, oh, it's an old ship, let it grow on that. And then I'm thinking, isn't it rusting? Isn't it doing bad stuff? That kind of stuff. And here you are with IntelliReefs. Now, I want our viewers to understand, you can be a part of this restoration. You can be part of this. If you ever have looked at, well, if you go to the website, if you go to the Reef Life Foundation.org, you will see reefs. You'll see what they really look like and what a dying one looks like and what a dead one looks like. And then you're going to see what the IntelliReef looks like. And you will see that this magnificent plain of, mountains, red glare, beautiful ocean of coral, and then you see it dead. It's the most heartbreaking thing you can ever see, to know that all of that color that went black was life. It's basically setting off, in my mind, when I saw it, it looked like a bomb had hit it and killed it all. And it's all life that just went away. And to have this IntelliReef out there that would give them a new home where more life could come and then bring more ocean, life into it. It's magical, and you can be a part of it too. The Gift a Reef program. Go to the reeflifefoundation.org. You can be part of this. So, Melody, I need you to come back with me. Let's go one-on-one together. There we are. Now, our viewers can help. If you see this video and you're like, I don't know if I can give $1, I don't know if I can help with this, but I have a friend who's really into water. Send them this video, send them this show, and say, you need to watch this, and you need to go to reeflifefoundation.org and find out more. And if you're in school and you say, I want to be a bigger part of this difference, make a difference, and be part of this reef rescue initiative, whatever you want to be a part of, there are so many facets that you can be a part of, and give your piece so that we can save our world by saving our oceans. And honestly, just being part of any of this IntelliReef thing is quite impressive, because it's history in the making. And here's the caveat about it: history in the making that's allowing history to happen.
That's beautiful. Can we quote you?
Yes.
Good. I love it.
History in the making, but it's because of it, we will have a history. We will have a future. And I wanted you to come in. I'm so excited that you took time from your busy schedule to come and join me on the show, because I've been after you for a while.
Thank you. You're so darling. And you fill such a void of people need to feel encouraged. They need to be brought and uplifted in their day. All of us are facing some very tough times right now. Wherever we are on the globe, it's been very tough last year. Mm-hmm. And to have that encouragement is truly lovely. And I want to thank you for the work that you do. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful compliment. And my thing is, people aren't bad. we do care, and we all care about what segment we understand. And the more we share our knowledge of what people don't understand, the more we share what we know is happening or we recognize, and we can bring that awareness to other people, then they can make their own judgments on whether or not they want to be a part of that change and make the world better than they believe it is, because the world is a beautiful place, and there are beautiful people like you and your teams and all these people who've been making these reefs who are meticulously locked on something that will make a difference for all of us. You have dedicated your life to this. I mean, to have people in the world that give their life to make life better for other people. This world is not bad, because there are people like you in it. And those of you who are watching and your heart is yearning to help, and you're like, why? How can I? You're good too. We're all good people when we're aware of what's wrong. And that's why I wanted on Mental Shift to share the Reef Life Foundation and share the work they're doing with the Reef Rescue Initiative, because it's out of our awareness. When we live in the middle of a landlock, we don't think about the ocean until we want to go on vacation. We go on vacation to, oh, it's so pretty, but never look down to see what is happening out there or what we're doing as tourists. I'm okay. I got to go into my next break, because I'm going to go into a preach mode, because I went swimming with the whale sharks, and I'm going to go into preach mode. So let's go into our break, and then when we come back, we'll finish up, and we will get right back to Melody. So stay with us, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Michelle, and this is Mental Shift. And today, our guest is Melody Brenna from the Reef Life Foundation. She's the CEO and the co-founder. Now, the TNC shows are live streamed here to help you see the new you. And the following times provided will be all in Philippine time. We'll be right back. Notable personalities and their stories on The Big Picture, Mondays through Friday, 7 p.m. Human Resources and Management on HR Hotline, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at noon. The Family Business is Everyone's Business, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Success Stories on The Fourth Project, Saturday, 6 p.m. Dubai, 10 p.m. Philippines. Beauty Beyond What Your Eyes Can See, Usapang Beauty, Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive news on COVID stories, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Life Turnaround Stories at U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. The Home Buyer Guides You to Property, Mondays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Laugh and Learn with the Poppet Stories, Mondays at 5:30 p.m. TNC Marketplace, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Your Rights, Yo Law, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Money and More, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Philippines, 5:30 a.m. USA. The stage is yours. TNC The Talk, Mondays at noon. Chill and Booze, After Shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Strategize and Win in Life through Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m.
Dream, Achieve, Nurture, and Inspire, Donnie Art Show, Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Learn Together Across Borders Foreign Affairs, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Health is Wealth on Healthline, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Celebrate Women at Work at 9 a.m. Saturdays. Have an awesome day, Mondays at 2:30 p.m. Cybersecurity is Key on CyberNext, Wednesdays at noon. Emerging and Practical Technologies, TechU, Fridays at 2:30 p.m. Learn from the Market Leader, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Well Home brings a well life, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 2:30 p.m. Coping and Coupling, Couple Goals, Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Listen to This Generation on The Millennial Voice, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. The Journey continues with Moving On Business, Tuesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Catch our original shows One Day, TNC Arena, TNC PressCon, and TNC Town Hall, Saturdays at 7 p.m., co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd and Apple. Town Hall is where we talk to you, our valued audience. Last but not least, it's never too late for Mental Shift, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. USA, Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Philippines. Thank you so much for joining me on Mental Shift. For more upcoming shows, follow the hashtag TNCNow on Facebook and YouTube. Allow your passion to inspire you, and together, let us hashtag see the new you.
Welcome back, and we have the last 10 minutes of Mental Shift with Michelle Mras, and my guest today is Melody Brenna, and she is the CEO and co-founder of Reef Life Foundation, and you can find that at reeflifefoundation.org. And I would love to have Melanie come back because there is so much exciting things happening that we're talking today. And if you have just come in and saw this last 10 minutes, I want you to go back and do the replay and watch the beginning and share it with your friends, because this is huge and this is important. And I'm so honored that Melanie came on to share this initiative with us. And for those of you in the Philippines, you know how beautiful our reefs are. You know how beautiful and special our water is. And you also know how much tourism comes for our water. They're saving our reefs so that our water stays profitable for the rest of the island. And I love you, and I love everything you all are doing out there. And I have to ask you, we've got like 8 minutes left, and it's like I can talk to you forever, but we have 8 minutes left. And what is there a message you'd like to share with our viewers, something that you'd like to, leave them with, and then we'll discuss a little bit more, but I want that thought out without being rushed.
This is an interesting thing. In the world today, there's so many young women who are going into marine biology, different types of marine creatures, seagrass, mangroves. The education of women today, they're just radiating towards the ocean. It's a lovely thing. And in the United Nations, they call it SDG 5, the education of women and girls.
Okay.
And so we are a member of GLISPA, and it's a global islands network. And there's so many young women who are saying, how can I save the planet? And I'm not trying to say that they are the only people saying it, but there is this push for education with young women and girls to say, how can I do something awesome? And so when you start to look within the marine segment, and there's hundreds of very cool things that you can challenge yourself to learn about. And there are so many scientists that help us. Zach Forsman at University of Hawaii, Vicon Brenna, who's designing all these underwater structures for these cool things, and the magnificent marine biologist Emily Higgins, who you saw in the movies. She's the one that has interpreted the data. And in fact, we are presenting at the United States National Academy of Sciences tomorrow in front of the whole world what we learned on these reefs. So you'll be able to see Emily in front of the planet talk about the science and how this can truly change, and how important the Philippines is. And it is a vital part of that entire part of the world, and it is worth saving, and we are dedicated to saving your reefs.
Yeah, it was just, and I'm going to go back to what I saw in the Philippines with the whale sharks. They were so adamant, do not touch them, do not touch the reefs, do not. And there were all these do nots, but there were people out there reaching down. And then you would see the marine biologists doing underwater. Don't. Yeah, because they had the marine biologists swimming around all the tourists doing no.
Good.
And you would see them underwater.
Because it's a live creature. It's like someone taking my hand off.
Yeah, because
that's what it is, to crack a coral off. That is a live animal.
I was so impressed to see the tenacity of the teams out there protecting the reefs out there. And they're bringing a lot of tourists. There's a lot of tourism happening around the reefs, but the people bringing the tourists said, "Do not, or we will take you right back." And they were, but they understood the importance of what that reef brought for them. And so, like, our tour guide brought us, and he says, "Look at this ocean. Look at the ocean of coral. I will bring you to the other side." And he brought us to the other side, and it was dead.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, it was such a contrast. And I was crying underwater because it was devastation, and to know that all that was life. And I wanted you on the show because the Philippines is beautiful. I love that land. And if we can save that and then save all the others because of that, I am all in to help you get your word out and to spread it, because we don't realize what we're missing when we can't see it. Yeah. You are looking at it, and
the
Reef Life Foundation
is so magnificent, and it is so worth saving. And it is a magical part of the planet. It truly is a Garden of Eden. And it needs all of our help and our impetus to say, we will save it.
Period. End dot.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, because, oh my gosh. But I am so excited that you came and you shared, and that those of you who are watching, if you just caught the end, you need to go to the reeflifefoundation.org. If you want to learn more about what's going on, yes, about the IntelliReefs, that is an IntelliReef. Isn't that cool? It's like 3D printing on steroids. I mean, it's just amazing. And if you want to help in any way, shape, or form, we had it in the previous video, the very first video, that $1 equates to 5. The money of donations are quadruple in this project. So don't think I'm going to give, whatever, $20 and it's all going to go to administration. No, it's going here. It will make a difference. It's not like what you think all these other donation-y things are. This is huge. Go to the reeflifefoundation.org. Go research for yourself. Reach out to them and say, hey, I want to know about. And they answer.
Good.
Well, you're scientists. They give us answers. They'll give you more answers than you want to know, because they care and they're passionate. And if more of us cared and were more passionate about what the world brings to us and the life that we are allowed to have on this planet, you'd be a little bit more passionate too. Watch these videos. Go to the reeflifefoundation.org. And if you've got someone in your family that has an anniversary or birthday, anything that's coming up, they've got the Gift a Reef Foundation program. And you can be a part of that. Instead of buying a star, maybe buy a reef piece. Do something that helps us in the long run. And your great grandchildren will remember you for it. And I'm almost out of time. Melody, any last word? We have like 1 minute left.
Let's join hands and save the oceans together. We can do it.
We can do it.
We can really do it. So let's do it together.
And I'm serious, when you go to the reeflifefoundation.org, you will see what they've been doing, and you will see that there's been some amazing progress. And it's not, in 30 years, it's going to, no, they're moving quick. In the video, they said, this is what happened in 1 year, just 1 year. Imagine if we could help them build more. What could happen, the exponential growth that we could have. So for those of you who are watching, thank you so much. And please share this with a friend. There's a replay, there's a YouTube, there's a Facebook. Share it with a friend, and or do a watch party on this, for goodness sakes. Watch party it, and it can share automatically to everyone that's in your groups. because it's that important. And if you've ever been on a coast, if you've ever lived near an ocean, if you've ever traveled to any beach resort, you know how beautiful it is. And you would hate for it to go away, because I know I would. Melody, thank you so much for joining me. I am truly honored. And I want to talk to you a little bit more. So make sure you stay on the line when we get off, because thank you.
Bless
the
you.
world thanks you.
Thank you,
And
Michelle.
you're welcome. And all of you, thank you for watching. Please share. And I'll see you in America, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. In the Philippines, every Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. We need you, but I'd love to see you later this week. Have a nice night or day, wherever you are. And until next time, my name is Michelle Mras, and this is Mental Shift.